Adjustment of the converted semi-automatic planting machine. This planter is the simplest for tractor hookup and transportation. Any tractor equipped with auxiliary hydraulic outlets and exhibiting at least 25 horsepower or more is adequate for this planter. To begin hookup procedure, first remove the trailer hitch and replace with a regular tractor drawbar hitch. Only one bolt needs to be removed for this operation. Next, connect the hydraulic hoses and remove the transport pin located near the hydraulic cylinder arm. You are now ready to remove the jack from the tongue and begin your test planting for adjustment. Once the planter has been configured to begin planting, choose a site to make your test plant of 10 to 20 feet in length. This site should not be near a fence line or a roadway, as these type areas tend to be very hard and compacted soil. It is critical that the test site be similar in compaction and soil type to the track intended for planting. Once a site is selected, drop the planter and pull it for approximately 20 feet. At this time, the planter's point and foot should be at 14 inches below the ground level. If it is not, check the tractor hitch height, which should never exceed 14 inches from the bottom of the hitch to the ground at any time. Also, at this time, observe the front and rear height of the planter. For proper operation, the planter should always stay level to the terrain. To verify this, measure the distance from the planter frame in front of the coulter arms to the ground. Repeat this procedure at the trencher foot at the rear of the machine. The distance should be approximately the same. If the measurements are not of equal distance, turn the turnbuckle up or down until the frame is closer to level. With the hydraulic ram exposed approximately 2 inches and the transport wheel just touching the ground, pull the planter again 6 to 8 feet. The point and foot should be in the ground 14 inches. Don't be confused by the trencher plate. The point is the reference of 14 inches. As if you have 14 inches of penetration on the point and the planter is level, the trencher plates will be 8 inches deep, as this is the correct depth, as the tree must be in the ground 8 inches. If the planter is not penetrating to the 14-inch depth, raise the ground wheels all the way up and pull the planter forward. If it rocks from left to right, you have a hard pan under the topsoil, and the planter is in an unstabilized condition. To stabilize it, raise the coulter up approximately a half to 1 inch. This will let the point draft down, therefore pulling the planter down. In most of our field tracks, the hard pan is under an 8 to 9 inches of topsoil. In old pasture land, where cattle have compacted the soil, it is less than this. Where the hard pan does lie 8 to 9 inches below the topsoil, it is recommended that the planter be equipped with a 28-inch coulter, opposed to the 30-inch unit. Past experience does show that the 28-inch coulter works best in most open field planting. The packing wheels are 15-inch foam filled. They weigh approximately 60 pounds and will close up a 14-inch trench tight from top to bottom if the planter is level and both wheels are in line with the trencher plates. To check this, raise the planter out of the ground and hook a string on the point and pull it back by the trencher to the packing gap. The packing wheel tires should be inside this line, 1/4 to a 1/2 inch on both sides. If they are not, push the packing frame from left to right. And if you can, move it over 3/4 of an inch either way. The frame bushings are worn out and must be replaced. In this instant, please call the shop. If the bushings are not worn, there are 2 bolts under the seat with springs on them. Check them, and if one of them is tighter than the other, make sure they are of the same tension on both sides. When the planter is running, these bolts should be free of tension. However, you can line the packing wheel up with them by tightening one and freeing up the other one. The packing gap can be widened also by installing spacing rings between the hub and wheel. The planting arms on this planter will release the tree in a perpendicular to the ground fashion. If the trees are leaning, the chain is probably too loose, and to adjust the chain tension, run one arm halfway up the back of the rack. Hold the arm out straight and drop it. The butterfly should drop about 2.5 to 3 inches. If it does not, the chain is too tight, and if it drops over this much, it is obviously too loose. Back off on one of the two side bearings at the top and tighten or loosen, as the case may be, the two adjuster bolts on the top of the rack. But make sure that both sides are the same height. When the butterflies enter the planting rack, they should hesitate for a second or more before moving on with the tree. If the trees are still leaning, call the planter technician. Do not try and adjust the rack on the frame. Also, do not try to change the spacing. Call the planter tech. If you could have other problems that are causing these symptoms. The planter will plant any track on any soil if it is set up right, but it must be checked on every track. The first 4 rows should be adjustment rows and not the last 4 rows. Next, to check the trees for firmness, take about 4 or 5 needles between your fingers and thumb and pull up steadily. The needles should pull off before the tree moves. Pulling the stem is not an accurate judge of soil compaction around the root. The needle test seems to give good results, and this test is critical to tree survival and good planting. Adjustment on 3-point hitches for model number 58 and model 60 and all Reynolds 3-point tree planters. First, check the tractor hitch arms for length. If one of them has been welded, it will be longer on that side, and there is no way to correct this problem. Next, hook the tractor arms in the bottom holes on the planter hitch arms, and check the category for proper fit. This is critical for proper operation. Next, let the planter down and pull approximately 20 feet. The planter should be at the planting depth at this time. Planting depth for a 3-point is 12 inch at the point and 8 inches at the trencher plate. Next, level the planter up front to rear with the turnbuckle and pull it approximately 10 feet. Again, check the depth, and if it is not deep enough, move the 2 draft arms up to the second hole on the planter. Re-level it with the turnbuckles and pull it 5 to 6 feet. The planter should draft deeper, and if it does not, adjust the coulter upwards 1/2 to 1 inch. But make sure that both coulter arms are of the same height and that the coulter is centered with the foot. The planting point and foot must be at 12 to 12.5 inches deep and on a level plane. This accomplishes 2 things. First, it will stabilize the planter, and also it will give you the 8 inches on the trencher plate, and the planter will pull much more smoothly. Next, keep the planter straight up, left to right. If it is canted over either way, it will not plant. If it is over 3/4 of an inch on most tractor hitches, there is a leveling arm located on the right side. Move this arm up or down until the planter sets up straight. On slopes, this should be changed on the reverse row, or each time the contour lever is moved. If this is kept level, the planter will do a better job, and the trees will be packed tighter. Always keep the planter level. If it gets too high in the front, the trencher plates will exhibit higher wear. If it gets high at the rear, the point will wear out much quicker. Also, the trees planted will not be the required 8 inches in the ground. This is the major cause of J-rooting. The packing wheels are 12 inches in diameter and are set to gap no more than 2 inches. However, if the soil is soft or wet, a wider setting on the packing wheels will work much better. To change the packing gap, remove the wheels and install a spacer ring between the wheel and the hub. They are 1/4 inch, 3/8 inch, and 1/2 inch respectively. They can be picked up at the shop or can be made in the field. Do not put washers on the lug bolts, for this will damage the wheels. If the planter is running too deep and is rolling the soil and sod outside the packing range, the packing wheels can be towed out in front. To do this, remove the wheels and take the spindle flanges off of the frame and add 3 or 4 1/2-inch washers on the 2 front bolts between the spindle flanges and the frame and replace the wheels. This will cause the packing wheels to catch more soil and roll it back to the trees. Do not pull the planter too fast. If it is moving more than 1 1/2 miles per hour, you are speeding. Pulling the planter too fast will make problems such as rolling soil ahead of the foot. The packing wheels will not sit down tight on the ground and the tree will not be packed firm. This planter is a Model 60 and is planting blue spruce, and they are about 26 inches overall with long tap roots. As you can see, this planter is doing its job. A crew of 3 men was previously used in the operation of any tree planter. Further experience and study has eliminated the need for a 3rd crew member, and 2 seem to do the job efficiently and effectively if proper tree planter to track adjustments have been made. In the past 5 years, we have increased our efficiency and quality of planting, but there are still some reoccurring problems. The most common of these being the misadjustment of equipment to the particular conditions at hand. Planters assigned to your particular county may or may not be adequate for all of the tracks located there. Often, problems are related to the situation where the planter that is being used is not designed for the conditions at hand. An example of this is a 3-point planter, which is a manual drop machine in which the man has to put the tree in the ground with his hands. If the track was cultivated the year before, a 3-point won't plant correctly because the packing wheels will act faster than the man can. The trees will become J-rooted and a shallow plant will be observed. What would be adequate for this job would be a finger spacing planter on that particular track. The planter tech in your region should be asked about planter application and also where each planter is located and the availability of particular machines. He should also be notified when the planter is moved to a new track. The regional planter technician should also make all adjustments. He is the man in charge of all parts, and after the planting season is over, all extra parts should be returned to him for his inventory. If a problem does arrive or you need parts, please call your regional technician. Don't wait or spend time looking for a local part source, as we do stock them at the shop.